Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Money Monday with Amanda. So today I want to talk to you about mixing personal and business expenses and all of the things that you've probably never even thought of that this can cause with headaches and all of the issues it can create down the road for you. Not only financially for you, but also with the IRS when you're dealing with that. So I've got 4 tips that we're going to cover today. First one is if you are mixing your business and personal expenses, when it comes to year end and you are working on getting that information ready for your tax professional, the chances of you overlooking a business expense because it's intermingled with all of your personal expenses goes way up. If you have a separate business account for your business, no matter how small it is, no matter what it is you're doing, if you are operating a business, you need to have a separate bank account. When you have that separate account and you are not mixing personal and business expenses in together on that, the chances that you are going to catch all of your business expenses at the end of the year and not overlook something that you could write off, your chances of that are much better. So you want to make sure that you're not mixing business and personal and that you have a separate bank account for your business. So that's tip number 1 today. Tip number 2, if you are using your personal bank account to mix your business income and expenses into, let's face it, you have no idea how much of your personal money you're actually putting into that business until you sit down and put it on paper. When a business starts, we are all funding that business out of personal funds, more than likely. But if you're not having a separate business account where you're transferring those personal funds into that account to see exactly how much of that you are putting over there, you have no real way of knowing how much you are funding your business and whether it continues to be worth it for you. So that is tip number 2 today on why you should be separating these out. Tip number 3 also relates to our money numbers here. So when you are mixing business and personal, if you're not tracking your numbers on a regular basis, you have no real way of knowing A, what your profit margin is for the business, but B, what your cash flow status is for the business. And as I've touched on in some previous videos, which you can find shared to this page, what I've touched on there is that cash flow is really what a business needs to operate off of. Profit is great. You need to know that number because that's what you're paying taxes based off of. And that's how you know if you're being successful. But a lot of businesses can be profitable and still fail because they don't have cash flow. So if you don't have a separation of business and personal expenses, how do you know what your profit is or what your cash flow margin is to know what you have the ability to spend or what you have the ability to purchase or pay yourself for the month? So that is reason number 3 why mixing business and personal expenses can be such a headache for you. Reason number 4, which is probably the biggest headache portion and the most critical that can really do some damage to you in the long run for your business, is the headache it can create when you're dealing with an audit. If you operate as a sole proprietor, so this can be a single member LLC, a Schedule C sole proprietor, however it is you file, if you're filing your business with your personal and a Schedule C, and the IRS decides that they want to audit your Schedule C, if you have bank statements just for your business and everything matches up to what you've claimed and you have all the receipts to show an audit, that's where it's going to end. If you are providing personal bank statements to provide into this, now you've just opened up where the IRS can audit your itemized deductions and other things because you've given them that information. This is even more critical if you have an actual business that you're operating as a corporation of some form or a partnership and you're mixing things with a personal account and the IRS is auditing the business. Now you've just opened up to allow them to audit the personal taxes for you and any business partners as well because you've given them that information and just opened that door for them. Vice versa, if you're getting audited personally and you have personal expenses that they need to verify for itemized deductions or whatever purpose on the business return, now you've just opened that door reversely there. So you want to make sure that you're keeping everything separate. So to recap, top 4 reasons and top 4 headaches that you can create if you are not keeping your business and personal expenses separate. 1 is that you could be losing out on deductions and expenses that you have at the end of the year by not having those clearly identified and just overlooking them in a mixed account. 1 is not knowing how much you're using your personal money to fund your business and continue floating it to keep it operational. 3 is not having any clue of your profit margin or your cash flow status in your business, which can cause you to fail. And reason number 4 is the audit headache that it can create and the doors that you can open to an IRS auditor if you don't have these things managed. You will commonly hear tax professionals refer to this as co-mingling your accounts. So if your tax professional has asked you if you're co-mingling your accounts, or if you know you are co-mingling your accounts, I challenge you today to go open a business account and get those separated out so that you can start this last quarter of 2018 strong with that, and you go into 2019 with that fabulous habit of having that separated out. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them below. If you found this helpful, I'd love for you to share it with others that you think can be helpful, either by tagging them or just sharing it out on your page. Thanks, everybody. Have a fabulous week.